Hello everybody. A buddy of mine asked me to rebuild his irons and wedges, or the specs behind this build. The swing weight's going to be D5. For length, we are a 1/2 inch over from Titleist standard. Lie angles are 3 flat. Lofts, we'll adjust accordingly. Prior to this build, we made it 1 degree stronger just to knock down that ball out of the air. His wedges are going to be the Titleist SM10s. He has the 60 degree, the 56, and the 52. He plays M grind, S grind, and F grind. The shafts that are going into the wedges are the Project X 6.5 wedge shaft. So a person like Dane, who has an enormous amount of speed, at times struggles to knock down the ball out of the air with wedges. He doesn't have a problem spinning the ball. Sometimes it can be launched. This shaft does a great job lowering the ball flight without sacrificing spin. So this wedge shaft build is perfect for him. Now, the iron build here, it's the Titleist CB pitching wedge all the way down through the 7 iron. And then 6 iron through 4 iron T100s are why we go a little more forgiving in the irons. Obviously, when you play a CB in the long irons, it's kind of like a blade, kind of not. It's just harder to hit when you have something that's a smaller profile like these or even the MBs. So T1s still look good, perform, and they're a lot easier to hit. Now the grip, the Lamkin crossline corded mid-size with 4 wraps of tape. SuperShope bought this company out, and now SuperShope makes these grips under their name. So I'll just show you guys the process within the build and just show you how I do it. Now, when it comes to swing weighting, for the builders out there, do what is most comfortable for yourself. You know, the way I learned to swing weight and how to maintain a build to achieve a swing weight is I've learned to put the grip on first on the shaft with the build up tape, and then after, when the grip's dried out and the solvent is all dried out, I'll put the head on without epoxy. I'll tape on the ferrule and measure all the swing weights, write them all down, figure out what the discrepancy is in the build, and then apply some swing weight tips if needed. I'm gonna do it that way because I know I've done it many times in the past. This is how I build clubs at Club Champion, and I gotten pretty good at it. So there's YouTube channels out there that I follow. I'll put them somewhere in the video that are really good. Like, I love watching them just because I learn a lot from these guys. Find your style of club building. I'll go with your flow. Because when you build a custom set like this, you have to know what you're doing. You have to make sure that it's gonna hit, the number, right? Or the swing weight. Let's get into it. All the grips will be low down, so I'll put them like this, and then just boom, bam. There we go. There goes one. Okay, make sure that logo is pretty good. Now, I have a towel here. Just a few taps. I'll check the back end logo and make sure it's not really off and matching the shaft, and it is. Here is what I was talking about when it comes to the pre-swing weight. The grips on it, right? Everything's dried, it's cut to length. This has no epoxy, so what I'm going to do is measure this club before applying any epoxy or any tip weight. So right now we are at D2.3. I spoke to my buddy about this build. The previous swing weight was D4-ish, D5. We actually want to stay on the lighter side of swing weight, which is, if we stay around D3-ish, 4, we're happy. So yeah, this has no swing tip in it. This has the taped ferrule to it. So this gives me a good idea of what it's going to look like. So I'm going to do the same process to all of the all the irons and the wedges. Just to show you guys, this is the 4 iron, swing tip in, shaft, D3 with that 2 gram in there. So there we go. Now all we need to do is apply, just enough epoxy to keep the head glued, and we'll be good to go with this. This is the 4 iron. with the swing tip in there, this measures out at 39 inches, which is perfect. A quick story on length here, okay? This was when I first started working with Callaway now 2 years ago. I fit this gentleman at Las Vegas National Golf Club here in town, and I think he was like 5'4", 5'5", maybe a little taller, but he had a bad back. And, you know, his tendency was to thin the ball, okay? And so I tried a bunch of different options for him, different weights, right? Even because I thought his length being shorter, I thought, well, maybe let's just try a half inch, you know, shorter, or a quarter inch shorter. And sure enough, it was worse. So then, you know, I gambled and I said, you know what, let's just try the half inch over. And it worked out. It goes back to there is no standard. You got to listen to what your body. Here are the new swing weights for the clubs with the necessary tip weights in the iron shafts. So everything pretty much measured out about D2.5. 24-hour epoxy. It's what we're using. Also using some glass beads. What I do now is I actually do put the logo obviously down. Here's put this tape on the shaft, ferrule, and hosel. Again, I saw this from one of the builders on YouTube. I like the idea because it just keeps it in place. Irons are glued. If you look, they are properly cut lengths. But yeah. And that right there, we're just going to wait 24 hours and trim the ferrules. Perfect. Smooth. All we're gonna do is finish these. Gonna obviously just check swing weight. They all should be D3 around there. And then after I finish cleaning the ferrules, I'm gonna do lies and loss. Okay, so we gotta go upright and stronger. Seven. Perfect. Really proud of this build here when it comes to the full-on custom build. You know, for example, swing weight. So my heaviest swing weight lob wedge through 4-iron was D3.3 and the lightest was D2.7. Ferrules came out amazing. Half inch over from tireless standard, 3 flats, tireless standard loss. Thank you for watching.